In this video, we will introduce you to the Quadrant of Emotions. The Quadrant of Emotions is a powerful tool to help you better decide which emotions you would like to feel in any given situation. Throughout this program, we have spent much of the time focusing on how to better manage the emotions you feel. But the question remains, how do I decide which emotions are appropriate for any given situation? Sometimes the answer to this question is obvious, but occasionally we may feel something and want to gain better insight on whether or not that emotion is serving us and under what circumstances we might want to challenge that emotion. The Quadrant of Emotions can help you do that. This tool is divided into 4 categories. Each row and column are labeled. Column 1 is comfortable. These emotions are ones we are more willing to feel and generally deem them as positive, even if they don't necessarily always yield positive results. Column 2 is distressing. These emotions are one we are more resistant to feeling. We generally deem them as somewhat uncomfortable, even if they are necessary to overcome difficult situations. Row 1 is appropriate. These emotions are ones that are appropriate given the situation, and it's our brain's way of making sense of what we're going through. Although uncomfortable at times, they serve us and are useful when we allow them. Row 2 is adverse. These emotions are ones that, if left unchecked, can have damaging effects on our psyche, relationships, and character. They are coping emotions that over time may become habitual default emotions. These painful emotions often feel protective and lead to spiraling, which compounds the negativity. Let's give some examples of emotions that might go into these 4 categories. Quadrant 1 is emotions that are appropriate and comfortable. These are pleasant emotions and include happy, excited, loved, confident, empowered, and generous. Quadrant 2 is emotions that are appropriate but distressing. These are proper emotions and include vulnerable, disappointing, grief, sadness, bravery, and sometimes anger. Quadrant 3 is emotions that are adverse but comfortable. These are prohibitive emotions and include defensive, justified, critical, arrogant, competitive, and self-righteous. Quadrant 4 is emotions that are both adverse and distressing. These are painful emotions and include shame, worry, helpless, overwhelmed, embarrassment, and confusion. If we go a little deeper into each quadrant, we can learn some of the possible default versus healthy reactions many people have to these emotions. For instance, in the pleasant quadrant, a possible default reaction to one of these emotions might be to discount what you're feeling. But a healthy reaction is to savor the moment and let yourself feel it. In the proper quadrant, a possible default reaction could be to resist, where a healthy reaction would be to feel and process the emotion. In the prohibitive quadrant, a possible default reaction is to distract, and a healthy reaction would be to focus on awareness. And in the painful quadrant, a possible default reaction might be to spiral, and a healthy reaction would be to show yourself love and compassion. Note that awareness is key in determining which quadrant your emotions belong in any given situation. For example, anger may be an appropriate response at times, and at other times it may be adverse. Here are some questions to ask yourself when trying to determine which quadrant the emotions you are feeling and belong to. What is this emotion trying to teach me? What signal is it giving me in this moment? Why might my brain think this is useful right now? Is this the emotion I would choose deliberately if I could? Does this emotion lead to desirable behaviors and outcomes in my life? How can I give myself grace and compassion in this situation and reassess where I want to go from here? One of the greatest benefits of using this tool is that once you have identified the emotion you are feeling and assign them to a specific quadrant, you can then begin to understand how to respond to the emotion in ways that serve you best now and in the future.